gang? It's your boy Chris, face of Iron Gang, new H2G fitness coach, and you can follow me on Instagram at iron_gang. That's lowercase I RON underscore lowercase GANG. Iron Gang. Now, a lot of people look at fitness and health and all that stuff, and pretty much they want to get in shape. You know, they want to drop weight, they want to lose fat, they want to look sexy. They pretty much want that summertime body, that beach body, if you will. But a majority of them don't know how to get there. A lot of it is based around your eating habits. A lot of it is based around your food choices. And you'll hear a lot of people say it's 70% nutrition and diet, 30% workout and training. And you know, if you're an egghead type of individual that pretty much go off numbers and percentages, which we all can be, especially when you start learning how to do this, you do become an egghead at it because you're always playing with numbers. And that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. But unless you're one of those type of people, really it's all about a lifestyle change, lifestyle choice. And that's hard for us to do because we all caught up in the rat race of a busy lifestyle, right? So everywhere you look, there's always a fast food place. And it's for convenience and ease, or what they want to make us believe is convenience and ease. How many times have you gone to a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Whataburger or whatever and had to sit there and wait like damn near 15 minutes for a number 2 and a medium to large drink? Like, I know it don't take that long to make burgers. That's the whole reason you guys are in business for fast food. But that's another video for another day. Anyway, fast food places are put there in place of convenience. And then you see so many of them. Like, one is on one corner, and then you got one on another corner, and then you got one on another corner, all within 2 to 3 block radius of each other. And so now it becomes not so much of a convenience, you have so many for optional variety and convenience, it becomes an impulse thing. Think about when you impulse buy. This is what grocery stores do. Every time you go down the aisle, or you see an end cap, before you go down the aisle, they'll have some products completely unrelated to whatever they have on that aisle. So let's say, for example, if you're going down the spices aisle with spices, flour, sugar, all that stuff, you know, the stuff that's on that aisle, before you go down that aisle, on the end cap of that aisle, they'll have a whole bunch of snacks and shit. They'll have maybe cookies, chips, beef jerky, all types of stuff that's not good for you. And you have no intentions of buying this stuff. But they put it there because they know that you enjoy it, it tastes good, and if it's right there for your convenience, 9 times out of 10, you're going to buy it. You're going to say, oh, one Hostess snack cake can't be too bad. It's right here. Let me go ahead and grab it. I'm hungry anyway, and that's the worst thing you can do, shop on an empty stomach. Another video for another day. But it becomes one of them things where it's an impulse buy. They know that off of impulse, you're not going to think twice about it. You're going to go ahead and buy it. So that's the same thing with how our culture is and how our mind is geared, especially in terms of fitness and getting in shape, and pretty much more so nutrition side of that whole dynamic. So we don't think consciously about carb counting. We don't think consciously about protein fat counting. We don't think consciously about calorie counting. And none of us, a good majority of us, have no idea of what our own personal daily caloric intake should be. So on impulse and convenience, we go out and we buy these things. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Chris, I don't eat fast food every day. And when I do eat fast food, I'm not eating it all day. So it's not like I'm eating McDonald's breakfast and then I'm turning around and having Jack in the Box lunch, and then at the end of the day I'm having Pizza Hut dinner. I don't eat like that. I might eat out 2 to 3 times a week. I might have something for breakfast from one of these fast food places, or I'll bring something from the house. Or I'll have lunch from these fast food places, and then, or I'll go home, or I'll bring something from the house for lunch, or I'll just grab something on the way home from work from one of these fast food places. But either way, I'm not eating fast food all day, every day. So that's cool. Let's talk about the stuff that you have at home and how you eat at home and your eating habits there. So again, most of us in the population are not conditioned enough to count calories, so we don't know what our daily caloric intake is, and it's all numbers. It's a formula, and believe me, if you want to lose weight or you want to build muscle, these are the things that you have to be conscious of. So your mind has to change about how you do things, especially your eating habits, the culture of eating, you know. So anyway, you at home, you eating things that you normally cook. A bowl of spaghetti. Everybody loves spaghetti, right? I love spaghetti. I miss my mama's spaghetti, by the way. But you cook that spaghetti. You go get that ground beef or that Italian sausage or whatever you use to cook your spaghetti with. You're not looking at the label saying how many calories or how many fats are in that particular meat source. You're not looking at the label when you go grab that pasta and saying how many grams of carbs are in this pasta. And then you're not thinking about the serving size once you get it all cooked up with the meat sauce, the pasta. Everybody likes Parmesan cheese on their spaghetti. That adds a little bit more. Then you're eating salad, which is healthy. You're probably going to throw some dressing on it, but you're not counting the fats that's in the dressing, the calories, the portion, the serving size. So by default, without even knowing, because spaghetti is delicious, and I'm not going to lie to you, if I'm eating my mama's spaghetti, I'm having a big ass bowl of that shit. Nobody's being conscious of their portion size because they're used to eating a certain size, but you don't know how many calories is in that. And it's in your home. So you think you're doing a good thing because you're eating from home. You might make real good choices about the sources that you use. You might use low fat pasta sauce. You might use a whole grain pasta instead of a regular pasta. You might use lean meat instead of the Italian sausage or just the regular beef that you get out the grocery store. You might use all that, but still it's compounded. So you're not watching your portion size and you're compounding probably more than what you should take in. So the whole thing behind fitness, going back to the egghead 70% nutrition, it's all in the conditioning. Before you get to the side where you start counting the numbers, you have to condition yourself to say, do I really need this? Do I really need this much of this at this time? You know what I'm saying? And now that goes into whatever your goal is, right? So you have to start thinking, what is my end goal? Am I trying to lose weight? Okay, what do I gotta sacrifice in order to lose weight? One thing, when I started out doing my thing, one thing I sacrificed was fast. There's a few things I sacrificed. I sacrificed one, fast foods. Fast foods. I'm single, bachelor. I don't have no family. I have nobody to cook for. I have nobody cooking for me by the time I get home. I cook for myself. My job can be demanding. I work late. Sometimes it's easier to go get fast food, but I sacrifice that. And in order to get around those late scheduling hours and get around getting off so late that I don't have time to cook food, I just start prepping my meals on Sundays. Simple as that. I just started prepping my meals on Sundays. So I already know what I'm going to eat and when I'm going to eat it. So that eliminated fast food altogether. You know what I'm saying? The other sacrifice I made was alcohol. I put a video on Facebook of me with a Jim Beam bottle, or a Jack Daniels bottle. I think it was Jim Beam. You can go to my Facebook page and check it out. And I poured all that shit down into the sink. And I said, and that's crazy. Like anybody, I'm not. I don't want to make anybody seem like they're alcoholics or anything, but anybody that enjoys alcohol or enjoys liquor will tell you that's the cardinal sin. They'll say it's alcohol abuse to pour perfectly good liquor down. But I did it to make a point. Like, we put more emphasis on something that's really bad because alcohol is a poison. We put more emphasis on valuing something that's a poison. And I pretty much displayed that my will and desire to get healthy, to get in shape, to get fit is so strong that I could care less about having this alcohol. So I gave up alcohol for at least about 3 months. I didn't have one drink. 30 pounds later, I said, you know what? I'm not in no social event. I don't party. I don't club. I can give up alcohol a little bit longer than this. And another 2-3 months rolled by. I dropped another 10-20 pounds. And I probably had my first drink like maybe a month after that. And then it was just, I only had one drink the entire month after that whole cycle. So now it's a cultural thing. I condition my mind to say what I can do without, and what I want and what my desire is. So on your journey to fitness, like I said, we'll get into the numbers, caloric intake versus outtake and all that later. But before you get into that side of the house, now you got to condition your head, your mind. You have to be ready and committed to saying, I'm going to change the culture about the way I do business for myself, especially at my dinner table or in my lunchroom or break room or cafeteria or wherever it is that you tend to eat your meals at. You're going to make a conscious effort to not impulsively go to these impulse fast food locations that's on every corner on the same block. You're going to impulsively make conscious decisions about how much you eat and how much of what you put in your food, because you want to make sure that you're maximizing and getting the best out of your fitness goals as possible. That's what you're going to do. And the other side of the wheel, that 30% that everybody talks about, fitness and training. So I was going to do a video fully dedicated to this, and I may do that later. But just to touch on this side of the house real quick. When it comes to training, a lot of people have no clue. And that's okay, you know. And you see it if you go to the gym. You see a lot of people in there that I wouldn't even call them newbies, but you see them in there and there's no rhyme or reason for what or how they're training. And I suspect that there's a lot of people out there who want to get in shape, who desire to get in shape, that have no clue. If you are going in for the intents of losing weight and burning fat, number one, you have to look at your level of intensity. On the weightlifting side of the house, if you're not in there really to build a lot of muscle, you kind of want to tone up, I would say your resistance routines need to be somewhere between light to intermediate weight, and you need to work out at a higher intensity than somebody who's going in there to build muscle or to build strength. So that means higher reps, higher volume reps, lower rest intervals. That way you're keeping your heart rate up. You burning calories out of your glycogen stores. You start burning calories out of your fat stores. On the other side of that is your cardio. Increase your cardio. Now, me personally, I don't like running, but I will run. I just recently adopted a running philosophy into my into my training. And I've been off of it for a little while because I've been having issues with my knee, but that's another story too. But low intensity training over a long period of time that's going to get your heart rate up. So I recommend that everybody gets on a treadmill if you can. Adjust your incline to a level that's comfortable for you, but challenging. You want it to be challengingly comfortable. You don't want it to be too uncomfortable. You don't want it to be too easy. You want it to be comfortably challenging. That's how I would explain it. And then you want to set your speed at a pace to where you're not just walking, but you're walking a little bit more of a faster pace than what you would normally walk. And that's what's going to get your heart rate up. And then the rest of it is timing. How long you stay on there and how long you can maintain that heart rate. I usually tell people between 130 and 150 is a good range for fat loss. If you can maintain that for a period of 60 minutes, I'm almost certain that you will definitely burn between 500 to 600 calories, if not more. And remember, beginning of the video, we kind of talked about caloric intake versus caloric outtake, right? So what you're putting in your body, you have to know what your personal daily limit is for calories. And then that's where you gauge what you put in versus what you're burning out. And that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. So how do you know if you're training hard enough or not? Simple. If you don't have one of those Fitbit watches, or if you're not on an elliptical or a treadmill where you can put your hand on the sensor and measure your heart rate, just listen to your heart. If you feel your heart speed